This is my go-to home toolkit. It's bulky and it's heavy and it's cluttered, but I've been on a mission lately to seriously shrink this down. So say hello to my new super compact grab and go toolkit. The plan with this toolkit is to create a genuinely useful but compact toolkit with minimal compromises that I can easily move about. So I can drop it in the car for long trips or move it to the van when spending time away, or when I get a call from the mother-in-law when something needs fixing or I need to sort some jobs at home. I can easily just grab this and I know it will cover just about everything I'm likely to need. Now, weight is not a major concern here, but keeping everything both compact and capable is. And if you think the tools in this kit don't look like they've ever been used, you would probably be right. Most of the tools in here have been bought exclusively for this kit to reduce tool size or double up on functionality. Everything here though has been selected with care based on my own experience over many years as an engineer and a DIYer and a hobbyist, combined with plenty of additional research. And as usual, I'll include links to everything featured in the video in the description down below. Okay, first let's talk about what I'm actually going to put the tools in. Now, initially my plan was to use this. This is the Lochby tool roll, and it's great quality and provides ideal visibility and access, but in the end I just couldn't get everything to fit in here without losing some essential tools in the process, and this really needs to be a comprehensive toolkit. So the perfect carry solution came in the form of a rather strangely named Leatherman Adapt Kit. And what we have here is a high quality mini tool case, which is just over 8 inches in length at 6 inches wide and 4 inches deep, and it's made from a tough 500D Cordura, and it's padded and lined and it holds its shape well even with some heavy tools in here. And as a bonus, all the zips are weather resistant with easy grab zip pulls. Looking around the bag, we have a zip pocket on the back, a grab handle on the top and 2 side pockets. Opening the back of the bag reveals the main compartment, and we have a slim pocket in the back here, 2 stretch pockets in the lid and also a zipped pocket. Then we have another compartment at the front of the bag, and we have in here a range of elastic loops with a removable silicone tray, which is ideal for holding loose screws and dismantled parts, or even as an area for working on smaller items. Okay, let's go through everything I have in here. So in the zip pocket at the back, I keep a basic gel pen and also a field notes notepad for quick access. Then opening the main compartment in the zip pocket here at the back, I have the Wera Tool Check Plus. Now, this is a really popular option for a compact kit, but it's not cheap at around £70 or dollars, and whilst it is possible to recreate the contents here at a lower cost, it's worth noting that the quality offered by Wera is without question, and you won't find a more compact option for this selection of tools. So in here we have 7 metric sockets. We also have a bit extender and also a ratchet driver, and then we also have 29 bits, and these can be accessed easily thanks to this movable bit holder. The Tool Check Plus actually comes with this small screwdriver, and this normally attaches to the end here, but it can be easily removed, and that helps me fit this in this top pocket, and then I can put the screwdriver elsewhere in the kit. Of the 29 bits included here, there's repetition on 4 of the most popular bits, and that creates an opportunity to swap those out for 4 different bits of your own choice. When it comes to the 2 mesh pockets here, well, I'm going to put in here the small screwdriver from the Tool Check Plus. Also in this pocket, I've got a 3-meter steel tape measure, and this is the Stanley Panoramic, and it's a great option for this kit as it's so much thinner than most tape measures, as you can see. And it has a really useful feature when it comes to measuring into a corner, because you take the reading from the top here, and that is so much easier to read and more accurate than trying to bend the tape into the corner, which is what I would normally do. In the second stretch pocket here, I have a small flashlight, and this is the Acebeam H16, and at 650 lumens it's more than bright enough to light up what you're doing. It has this right angled head so it can tail stand to help direct the light. It also has a 2-way clip and also a magnetic base, and it comes with a headband if you need to direct the light hands-free, which is really useful. In terms of light levels, it has moonlight mode, 3 main levels and a turbo mode, and it offers great battery life from the included lithium battery, which has a built-in USB-C charging socket. Incidentally, the battery used here is the same size as a standard AA battery, which can also be used. So I keep one in the mesh pocket too for backup, along with the headband and also the included charging cable. Next up we have scissors. Now these are surprisingly useful, and as you can see these are pretty hardcore. The brand is Miller and they're made in Taiwan, a sign of great quality, and the blades are tough and super sharp, and one blade has micro serrations to grip whatever is being cut, and they're designed to cut through Kevlar strength fibers. And I prefer these to the popular Klein electrician scissors, which are also very good, but these offer a better grip. You will see the Knipex brand featured a lot in quality toolkits. The tools are German made and excellent quality from a company known for innovation, and no toolkit would be complete without the Cobra Waterpump pliers. The grip you can achieve with these on any shape is outstanding, and it increases as you apply pressure, and the jaw opening is huge, with this relatively compact tool being able to tackle something as large as a sink waste pipe. They are brilliantly versatile and capable, and they come in several different sizes, right down to this 100mm version, which is an EDC favourite. But the one I've picked for this kit is the 180, which means 180mm in length, and that's because it's the biggest size that will fit in here. Now there is a danger with any gripping tool that it could chew up a nut or a bolt if it's allowed to slip, and that's where the Knipex ply wrench comes in. This is for flat-sided fastenings like a nut or a bolt, and again this tool has wide opening jaws, fast adjustment, and uses this clever design to apply more grip as you apply more pressure, and it works incredibly well. Again, there are several sizes of this tool to choose from. These are 150mm, which I already own. Now I don't have any imperial sockets in this kit because I find I don't need them very often, but there's always a good chance one of these Knipex tools will do the job if needed. Now wire cutters are an essential tool for me, and these side cutters are what I would normally use. But to reduce bulk and add a bit of precision, I've gone instead for these Knipex Super Snips, which are spring loaded, as you can see, a lot smaller than the side cutters and super precision, and they are a joy to use. And staying with Knipex, I have added what are possibly the smallest bolt cutters you can buy. These are just 160mm in length. The 25 times leverage means the jaw opening is not huge, but don't be fooled by the size. These will cut through piano wires, spring steel, rivets, bolts and nails up to about 4.5mm in diameter. Then we have a hammer. Now this was a bit of a dilemma because a hammer is an essential element of most toolkits, but it's hard to minimize bulk here and still have a practical tool. This 8-ounce hammer from Ox Tool though is, I think, an ideal compromise. There is some good weight here, the quality feels great, and the grip is rubbery and feels really secure in the hand. This is a proper hammer with the added benefit of the nail puller pry tool, but with an overall length of just over 6 inches. And I've added this telescopic magnetic pickup tool, something you'll be glad you have if you need it. This one will lift up to £5, doesn't take up much space and is super cheap. Now I often work on electrics around the house, just basic stuff often involving fault finding, and a non-contact voltage detector is super useful. It detects the presence of an AC voltage in a cable without having to access the bare wires, and in this case it detects voltage between 90 volts and 1000 volts, so that would include the 110 volt main supply in the US and the more heart-stopping 230 volt version we have in the UK. And to test, simply bring the tip of the tester close to a cable and it will show if it's live or not. Run it down a faulty cable and it can show you where the break is. Now, I've used this one for years, but it's hard to recommend because there's no way of knowing if the battery has failed, so you might think a cable is dead when it actually isn't. Newer models though, like this one, offer a safer solution with an on-off switch and a constant flashing LED, so you always know it's working. This one also has an audible alert which can be switched off if it starts to get annoying. And it's worth pointing out that these devices should be used to confirm power is present. You shouldn't really rely on these to show when the power is not there. A heavily shielded cable, for example, may prevent detection, or a poor quality detector can be unreliable, and therefore you still need to be cautious when looking at a negative reading. Used sensibly though, they are a great tool when testing home electrics, and this particular model is made by Fluke, who are arguably the world leader in this type of test gear. Now, one thing I've been very keen to include in here is a hacksaw, but there are very few options for something compact. Even a junior hacksaw will not fit in here. There is though one solution I've found, and it's from a brand called Toolan, which I've never come across before now, and I have to say this is a brilliant tool. It has a rubberized grippy handle with a spring loaded mechanism to hold the blades in place and 3 slots in the end, designed to take a range of easily accessible blades, of which you get a selection included with the tool. So what about a T-shank blade you might have with your jigsaw? Well, that's no problem. It goes in one of the slots and grips it tight, and you get 4 blades included. But these are easy to find and cheap to buy and can tackle most materials. Okay, what about a reciprocating saw blade? Well, pick a different slot and no problem. And you get 3 of these included, but again, cheap and accessible for all different types of material. And what about a full-sized hacksaw blade? Well, again, no problem. The standard blade slides into the handle, and again it grips it tight with no play, and you get one of these blades included as well. Now, clearly for this compact kit, a standard 12-inch blade is not going to fit in the tool case, but simply bending the blade in half will cause it to break cleanly, giving you 2 6-inch blades that easily fit in the case and work brilliantly with the handle easily adjusting to the length needed. I can then store one blade in the handle for quick access and the other alongside the other blades in a provided sleeve. It is a great solution, a compact saw that can tackle metal, wood and plastic and just about anything else. Also in the main compartment I have 3 varieties of tape. Here I have some duct tape. Now normally a roll of duct tape would be way too bulky for this kit, but as it happens you can buy it like this rolled flat, or indeed you can roll your own, so it hardly takes up any space. Then I have here a blank credit card, and on one half I've wrapped some electrician's tape, always useful, and on the other half I've wrapped some self-amalgamating tape. Now I've mentioned this tape before and it is brilliant stuff, and I've used this a lot, particularly on cables when I worked as an engineer many years ago. To use it, you remove the backing. It's not particularly sticky to handle, but it stretches and it adheres to itself and can form a waterproof seal. Great for a temporary fix on a leaking pipe, or for protecting exposed cables, or for general binding. It's a great addition to the toolkit and takes up virtually no space in this form. And finally, in the main pocket, I have some individual hand wipes in the sleeve at the back. Okay, that's it for the main compartment. So Let's now have a look at the compartment at the front. The first thing to notice is we have this silicone tray. This is useful if you want to work on something small, or is a useful tray to store disassembled parts or loose screws. And then we have the remainder of the tools in this kit, which are held in place with elastic straps. I love a Sharpie. It will write on anything and it doesn't wipe off, although I appreciate some might prefer a pencil in here. Okay, let's talk about screwdrivers. Now, the small Wera screwdriver handle is useful to have in here, but it's not enough by itself. I need something much more heavy duty. And so in this kit, I've introduced something which I've featured once before, and it's this, the Metmo pocket driver, which is as functional as it is beautiful. Now, what we have here is a compact Ratchet 1/4" screwdriver made from stainless steel, which happens to be based on a 100-year-old patent. The bit is retained with a strong magnet, and we have a reversible and lockable exposed ratchet mechanism, and there's also storage in the back for a couple of extra bits. But the real USP here is the fold out handle, which creates significant leverage and driving force, and that is particularly welcome with a compact kit like this when you might not have access to your various power tools. Now, the ratchet driver in the Tool Check Plus could be used for this purpose, but it's much more difficult to apply the forward force needed with a difficult screw. However, the Metmo pocket driver is very expensive at over £100 or dollars, and many this will be just too hard to justify, in which case something like the Wera ratchet screwdriver would be a good alternative, perhaps one like the one I have here, which does not have bits stored in the handle, making it a little more compact. Now, staying with screwdrivers, this kit also needs a precision screwdriver for things like small electronics, and it needs to be capable of dealing with a variety of different screws and fastenings. So I have here included the Hoto precision screwdriver. Now, this is already a channel favorite, being very affordable and compact with, would you believe, 24 different bits held magnetically in place in the body of the screwdriver. And yet this takes up no more space in here than a marker pen. I always carry needle nose pliers in my toolkit, normally like these, but for this kit it made sense to swap these out for a Leatherman. We are using a Leatherman case after all. This gives me the needle nose pliers I need, but in a more compact form, and then adds a couple of other tools as well. Now, there are lots of different Leatherman options to choose from, but for me, considering this tool is designed to be carried away from the home, I wanted to be mindful of UK knife laws, which limits blade size and bans lockable blades. So I'm going to go with this one, which is the Leatherman Bond. This has a non-lock-in blade. It also has a can opener, stroke bottle opener, a reamer awl, a couple of decent quick access flathead screwdrivers, and a Phillips, and a useful file, which this kit really needs. The last tool in this kit is a utility knife, another essential tool in my book, and although we already have a knife in the Leatherman here which has its own uses, a good utility knife has a different level of capability that nothing else can quite match. Now, I do have a range of EDC utility knives that are beautifully designed, pocketable, lightweight, but also generally expensive, and as nice as these are not for this kit. For this kit we need something like this with a big handle and lots of grip that keeps your fingers well away from the blade as you apply some serious pressure. And the good news is these actually come in very cheap. Now, I already own a few battered utility knives and they still work fine, but they were either too bulky or, let's say, too ugly for this kit, so I treated myself to a new one from Ox Tools, which cost me just £7 or around $8. It's fold-in, which is good, and the quality seems right up there. It's made from aluminium and has a lock-in blade for safety, which can lock at different angles. And then we have a great grip, easy blade change, and it can store 3 blades in the back of the handle. Now, as mentioned, this has a lock-in blade, and so technically that would make it illegal to carry in the UK in public, even potentially if it's in a car. Now, I have to say I would be amazed if the police pulled me up on this, but if they did, it's hard to say whether having it in a toolkit could be considered good reason, which is my only form of defense. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to take out the blade, knowing that I have 3 ready to use in the handle when needed, and that I feel sure will make this fine to transport. I wanted some glue in here, and I've gone with a rapid 2-part epoxy. It's super strong and there's plenty in here if needed. It can fill gaps, cures in 5 minutes and gives time to reposition, and it sticks to most things. And then finally, I've included a few tie wraps or zip ties because they come in so handy and I'm always tidying up cables. And there we have it, a great, easy to grab toolkit which is comprehensive, compact and capable, albeit still quite heavy, coming in at just over 3 kilograms or 7 pounds. I'll leave it there for now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and feel free to feedback if you think I've missed something. Well, I hope that's been useful and given you some inspiration. And thanks, as always, for watching.